Salute KNICKS Streets. Buzzing after a tough loss at MSG. This one was frustrating tonight. Let's chop it up because the streak ended. I was hoping we'd get to 10. Man, I was preparing for the show and all of that good stuff, but it just wasn't meant to be. I think a lot of factors played into tonight. It was a trap game, like the chat, like Nick Street's been saying, but the intensity wasn't the same. Whether or not they took Charlotte lightly, that's one thing. Definitely one thing, but we'll talk about it tonight. Salute late night post game. Salute Nick Streets, Nick's fans out here, the best fan base in the biz. We've been riding the highs, and we got to talk about the losses like we always do. We never ducking out here. And as we head towards the playoffs, it's these kind of losses that are frustrating. But, a lot can be said. Obviously, no Jalen Brunson, tonight. And we expected him to, probably rest again. It seems like it's just day to day, first and foremost. So hopefully it ain't too serious with Brunson. We know those ankles can linger. And like we talked about last night with Ron Cleveland, my guy, shout out. And the chat, we were talking about, there's no point risking Brunson for tonight. But this is just what happens in the association. You don't come out ready to play, or the other team wants it badly, and they're gonna defeat you. And I think I'll give credit to Charlotte. They played tough tonight. They had the wings, I think, with Hayward and Kelly Oubre, Washington. They had size, and I think they defended really well. They defended the Knicks. The Knicks couldn't really get into any good solid offense. Late. It was like 8 points in the last 8 minutes, and it certainly wasn't pretty. It was tough. Tonight was a lot of isolation ball, late shot clock, turnovers abound. But we'll go through the stats, we'll chop it up, we'll dissect it, get everyone's opinions and thoughts, and we'll give out grades. Salute to the whole chat. JJ, what's good, fam? Yeah, real tough loss and an ultimate trap game. Not totally shocked, but it certainly hurt. Yeah, I'm feeling it because, like I said, I was getting ahead of myself. As a lot of Nick fans, I was preparing for that 10 straight show, and a lot of the stuff I was going to be talking about. But that you pivot, and we're going to talk about the reality now that the New York Knicks streak is we're no longer the hottest team in the league in terms of winning streak, but we are surging up the power rankings. So that is one positive. Julius Randle got Player of the Week, so we'll give that shine. We're still in a great position to get that fourth seed, and we'll talk about the road ahead. Games are going to get tougher though. Sacktown, the Clips, the Lakers. If LeBron's back, that's not going to be no joke. And then Portland, and then Nuggets, and then Mini. That West Coast trip is going to be tough out here. Salute buzzer beater. Let's go. Appreciate you. Your Hornets came to play tonight. Definitely. I mean, who wouldn't want to dethrone the hottest team in the league? We should have known that they were going to come in, ready to play. But yeah, like I said, I think their size gave us some issues, at the wing spot. Gordon Hayward still got some game left, but Oubre looks super juiced up tonight to punk us. And yeah, the other point I was going to make is about the overtime. I don't like making excuses, but it is what it is. The double OT game in Beantown took a heck of a lot out of this team, and we just didn't see the same kind of energy that we have been used to seeing from this New York Knicks squad. But let's hope they just lick their wounds and get some rest, and we come back. We can certainly pull out some really big wins if we take it to Sacktown and the Clippers. We owe them one, and let's hope Brunson gets back soon. Also, yeah, nobody could really hit shots tonight. Julius Randle was a crazy 5 of 17, fam. That's not going to happen a lot, like JJ said. And I think, Randle's been having an all NBA type season, but these bad shooting nights are going to happen, from time to time. It just hasn't happened a lot. We've been spoiled for real. Yeah, PJ, I always give the opponent some credit too, because, every team got talent. And I feel like the Charlotte Hornets, they're a bad team, but I feel like they've underachieved. They're certainly with LaMelo, if he was healthy, and they've got some talent, but they're inconsistent. That's the thing. Dennis Smith Jr. plays whenever he feels like it. Kelly Oubre will have a great game every 5 games. Same with Hayward. It is what it is. But I think the Tibbs, Clifford Bowl was a thing tonight too. Good friends. I'm sure there was some competitive, nature behind tonight's game. Salute Ilmatics, what's good, fam? We were bound to lose. Actually, glad the streak is over and that it was the Hornets, not a playoff team. Yeah, you could look at it like that. Glass half full. I feel you on that. All streaks were made to come to an end. Yeah, it's how you learn from it, I guess. And also, you could say we didn't have Brunson, and quickly couldn't execute as well. He had 5 of 16 tonight and went 3 of 10. I feel like we definitely started feeling ourselves a little bit. Shot selection's a bit awful tonight, but we'll give RJ Barrett his flowers because he started the game well and he was decent tonight. He was solid. 10 of 24, but shot 1 of 7 from three as well. Yeah, Oubre was ticking me off too, JJ. Yeah, you weren't the only one, man. Yeah, it's funny when these teams that stink, they come into the Garden once, a couple times a year. They feel like they have a great game, and then they just they want to talk, they want to talk trash. But his team's trash. His team's trash right now. Truth is, we'll be playing playoffs. But yeah, that 50 burger and all of that kind of stuff, we got to take game at a time now. I think tonight certainly set us back in terms of, the reality, and we're not just going to continue to streak through the rest of this season. We're going to go through the grind still. We got to get through it. We got to get healthy, and dude's got to get more energy. Dude's got to step up. We'll give out everyone's grades tonight, see who didn't step up. But my overall thoughts again, I'm just super frustrated because I really feel like we missed a great opportunity to keep rolling. 10 in a row is something special. It's not something you see every day, but it's just a regular season game, I guess. You just got to put it in the rear view now. Joseph, what's good? Thoughts on Tibbs not giving more minutes to the bench? Absolutely. Great point. Tired legs. They definitely look tired. Rose and Evan could have changed things. Yep, definitely. Um, just focusing on the bench initially, I liked McBride's minutes. He definitely could have played more, fam. 13 minutes, was 3 of 5, and shot 1 of 2 from three, +8, 7 points. So yeah, on a night like night, especially defensively, we were bad too. I thought Hayward, Oubre, Washington, they were getting too many easy looks. Um, they were sharing the rock tonight too. The Hornets were definitely making us work. I think they had a game plan, and that plan was to get the Knicks moving. But I really feel like Joseph said, McBride should have played more minutes, definitely. Um, More energy. Yeah, you could have given Rose some minutes. Toppin was +13 in his 13 minutes, so he was playing decent. On a night like tonight, I really feel like Randle just looks super gassed. Physically, Randle was not his usual self. Um, Emotionally spent too. Yeah, off such a high. That game against Boston was incredible. National TV, and the Globe's been buzzing ever since. But it just shows you reality. We set back down to a lowly opponent, but it is what it is. Maybe they're secretly a bit spewing because you know Brunson could have played tonight. I'm sure if it was a better opponent, Brunson may have gone. Maybe there was a little bit of arrogance or over cautious. What's good chat? David, salute. Donnie Davis. The streets are still buzzing, regardless, because we're in a great spot. But we're chopping this up, smashing that like button for your boy. And yeah, Johnny says should have rested the entire squad. It's not hindsight. A lot of people felt this way. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really a back to back, but certainly, yeah, minutes distribution should have been better tonight. Should have been better. Jet Life, salute. How are we feeling after this? I guess Josh Hart's now defeated as a New York Knick, but he goes to 9-1. So, still a lot of reasons to be happy with that situation and us making waves around this league, and that's big. I want to shout out Julius for his Player of the Week performance. The New York Knicks have moved up to 5th before tonight's game in the power rankings for the NBA.com. CBS has the New York Knicks #1 in power rankings before tonight. But, you know, it just sort of goes to show what I was saying in the last show. It's the playoffs. That's what it's all about. You know, this, regular season record, awards, all of that stuff really don't mean a lot. It's about playoffs. How do we do in the playoffs? Let's get to the playoffs first, and that's where the real thing happens. But it's certainly been promising. We're gearing up for hopefully a 4v5 matchup against the Cleveland Cavs still, but there's work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done, fam. We go to 39-28, still 11 games over. But yeah, Josh Hart takes his first loss as a New York Knick, and our first loss in 10 games, man. Before the All-Star break to now, I kind of forgot what it feels like to lose for a hot minute. We've been so used to winning, we kind of don't know how to feel. But certainly the frustration is there. I feel you. JJ asks, should we maybe rest guys a bit and just go for 6 seed? Go get guys healthy and fresh. I've been thinking recently a lot about that, and maybe a little bit of worry that we get to that finish line, like you said, we go hell for leather on all of these regular season games like last 2 years ago, and we just end up gassed at the start of the playoffs. Let's hope there's a little bit of a break, a couple-day break after the regular season for the first 4v5 matchup. But it's up to Tibbs, fam, to stretch these minutes around. I really feel like, yes, this 9-man rotation is great for winning, but how sustainable is it long term remains to be seen. Certainly on nights like sort of back-to-backs and 3 games in 5 nights, those kind of things, fam, you got to lean on some of these situationals, definitely. Man, Child is in the building, salute. The chat's buzzing. Let's go, Knicks Nation. We're still surging and heading up in these power rankings, right? But let's be smart about it. Guys got to step up, play some defense, and Tibbs got to even these minutes out. And like I said, Deuce McBride should have played more than 13. Hartenstein, Toppin could have played 20 each. And we'll look at the box score in a minute. We're just getting our thoughts out here tonight. Yeah, Manchild says, how could we lose to the lowly with a dude with nail polish? Man. He's got length, he's got size, he's got some talent. But yeah, you got to take people in this league seriously. Especially they wanted to be the giant killer. There's no doubt about it. They could party up in New York City now and claim to have been the team to end our streak. But we live tomorrow, and we got to get on with it. We got to get back into this groove again. Let's start another streak. Joseph says the loss could haunt later. 3rd seed avoids the Bucks. Not just the regular season game. See the bracket. Yeah, look, 3rd seed would be pie in the sky. Was achievable, but there's still a lot of games left. A lot of tough games. So, not saying we can't do it. There's still a chance. But I really feel like 4th is probably, I'd be very content with 4th. 5th would be okay still, because I don't feel like, we suffer any disadvantage playing on the road in Cleveland. We've been able to win in Cleveland, but no doubt, home court would be nice. Yeah, the loss will reset the team, Ilmatics, reset expectations, I guess. It shows Brunson's worth. We'll talk about Brunson more tonight, but we're seeing, a lot was sugar coated in the Boston game. Not gonna lie, It's not exactly like that. Those final possessions in Boston were great. You know, we got lucky. We got a little bit lucky in Boston. So our execution's still bad without Brunson. I'm just keeping it real. Um, Especially in the playoffs, it's going to be super ugly, super ugly. Um, he's our closer. He's our best closer. You know, not saying Randle can't close from time to time, and not saying Quickly can't close or Rose, but Brunson's our guy. Like we go as far as Brunson and Randle will take us, but Brunson has the ball in his hands more. So that's it. That's the fact. Um, could we sweep the Cali trip? That would be nice. That'd be really nice. But I'd take 2 out of 3 right now. I'd sign up for Sacramento. Let's get back to winning ways straight away. We don't want to take back-to-back L's. Uh, the Clippers one. Let's see what happens with the injury report. But the Lakers, I think LeBron's still going to be out. Actually, I think that ankle, that foot injury with LeBron is a little bit more serious. So I think we could probably certainly take 2 out of the 3. But I really want to beat the Clippers, man, child, man, chat. That loss stung with Nick Batum's buzzer beater. That made me sick. We should have won that one, definitely. D Cool's in the house. Salute, salute. Yeah, playoffs is all about hitting open threes, JJ. And in terms of the Cavs, it's going to be a more of an offensive series, I feel. I don't think the Cavs play no defense either. They're not great at defense. They're going to try to get up and down with Garland and with Spider. I think that probably whoever's going to be able to defend the best in that series and get stops will win, because it's going to definitely be a high tempo kind of series, I feel. But with that said, yeah, we need to share the rock. We need to get it moving. There was a couple of great plays. I felt Julius Randle did push the ball quite quickly tonight a few times and got Emmanuel with an open shot. You know, he's starting to get that sense that he's going to get double quicker now. But he had 3 assists tonight, 8 rebounds, just 2 turnovers, but was minus 20. So Julius kind of sets the tone with his effort, his energy. Tonight, he was probably the player that looked like he had the least energy. You know, he's been carrying this team a lot, no doubt, and he's been a superstar, a star this year. But yeah, he looked super gassed tonight. Um, when Randle only had about 10, 11 points at halftime, I'm like, well, this is going to be a tough one, because we do rely on Randle scoring, and especially when Brunson's out, because yeah, 11 points at halftime, they were really stopping Julius tonight. And yeah, the shot wasn't falling, which was rough. Um, but yeah, player of the week for Julius. So not a good night for him tonight, but salute to him overall for his play this year, which has been amazing, amazing resurgence. And Julius is now on the 30-point games for the season. He hit that the game before the Boston game, I think, and Brunson's on 16. So yeah, these guys had amazing season. Certainly in Knicks elite company for the season. You know, with the franchise record with Pat Ewing in a 36 total. But how many will Randle finish with? I would say probably around like 25, maybe 28, 30-point games if everything goes really well. But yeah, we need his scoring, man. We definitely need his scoring. And speaking of needs, we need Jalen Brunson to get back. We need him healthy for the playoffs. And kind of like what JJ was saying, health's the most important thing. There's no point making the playoffs if one of your lead dogs is banged up. That's going to be tough. So, really, Tibbs, this is your moment. Can you adjust? Can you adjust the load? Can you rely on some of these guys heading into the final stretch? Because we look like we're at least going to get 6th. So playoffs are kind of safe at this stage. There's no need to get crazy. There's no need to get crazy. Play these guys 42 minutes, back to backs, and all of that. It'd be devastating for a guy to go down at this point in the season when we're so close. Yeah, You keep the chat buzzing, throw out any questions, observations. Let's get it, chat. Yeah, Knicks started slow, 21 points in the first quarter, but then had a red hot second quarter, 45 points. It was crazy. 23 though, let the foot off the gas to 37 in the third, and then only 16-point last quarter. It was disgraceful, disgusting, ugly, all of that stuff. We had 8 points in 8 minutes. So, I mean, you couldn't hit the backside of a barn, you know. Some of us could have taken the court and hit a couple shots. You know, tonight we needed some shot making badly, and I thought we just got stale. You know, credit to their defense again. You know, it's not all us. They definitely clamped down. You know, they made it tough. They hit a couple of great contested shots as well. Hayward and Oubre was hitting some shots. You know, quickly was late on that closeout. You know, that kind of ended the game. That was the back-breaking three from Oubre. That corner one, he almost got there, but like I think Kenny said, or Clyde, he was just too short, 6'3", and couldn't close out on that one. But yeah, we were begging for it, you know. We were begging to lose this one because the energy wasn't there, the effort, you know, wasn't there, and we let them hang around. Speaking of hanging around, the biggest lead tonight was 16. So the Knicks had a 16-point lead and failed to close this one out, which sucks. And of course, Charlotte got up to 7. They had a 7-point lead. Knicks did really well taking care of the ball, though. Only 8 turnovers to Charlotte's 10 turnovers. So that wasn't the reason we lost. You know, it was a bogus call. You know, a couple bogus ref calls. That was, you know, that sucked. Yeah, I thought that one was bogus. Really, I don't know what they were thinking with that situation, but you got to live and die with that. Points in the paint, though. For once, the Knicks did not win the points in the paint. We met our match tonight with 54 to 52. We usually win points in the paint, so we lost that one. But we did win fast break points, which was kind of surprising, 11 to 7. And yeah, shot making in the half court didn't help tonight. But RJ Barrett, first and foremost, stepped up. Got to the line 8 times, so he was aggressive from the get-go. He was aggressive against Boston too. So this is a young guy, you know, looking at a situation with Brunson out, and Barrett's like, okay, I got to get more aggressive. So I like that mindset. A little bit still tunnel vision, but got 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 27 points tonight. I like the assists, but could not hit the 3 ball. 1 of 7. The 10 of 24 from the field was okay. But yeah, we definitely needed RJ scoring and aggression, you know, tonight. So he stepped up. You know, he'll get a B+ for me tonight. Well, Barrett, he stepped up, and he had a nice game against Boston as well. So yeah, like I said, he's got to, you know, with Brunson out, he's got to be the one to say, I'm going to step up. I'm going to be more aggressive, you know, and that's what he was doing. Yeah, David. Yeah, they got away with a straight hacking. Yep. Emmanuel Quickly. What did you guys think of that critical call down the stretch? I'm not going to blame the whole game on that one because we certainly dug our own grave, but Quickly definitely looked like he got bumped, but he was certainly trying to sell the call a lot. And I question I kind of question that decision, that decision to try to rush it and penetrate so quickly. You know, I would have taken my time with that possession because that was the ball game. That we had to score on that possession, and it was tough late. So yeah, I like Quickly being aggressive, but that was one thing I can be critical of. I think you know, it was the wrong time, I think, to rush that possession. Yeah. Also, they made an adjustment, like Man Child says. Salute. The Charlotte Hornets made adjustments, and they blitzed RJ. They got the ball out of his hands. You know, again, Randle didn't have it going, and Quickly wasn't shooting great either. So yeah, nothing left in the tank. D Gons. Yeah, yeah. This one's tough. You know. But like I said, it happens because you got to live and die when you go on a 9-game winning streak, you usually pull out a couple of amazing heart-stopping wins, and this thing evens itself out. Like, you can only be up for so much before you take that next loss. But let's bounce back now. Let's get it against Sacramento, the Clippers, the Lakers, Blazers should be an interesting game, and Minnesota. We could at least split that series. So I'm not I'm not as worried about this road trip, as a lot of people have said about it. But we've got a great squad. We're capable of winning anywhere. I don't care where the game is, who it's against. I'm past that now. The New York Knicks still have a 20-12 record, one of the best, if not the best record in the league. So we're road warriors, ladies and gentlemen. We won in Beantown. We won in South Beach. I feel good on the road, so let's get it. Let's pack our lunch pail and let's hit the road, Jack. And let's come back with some dubs, because this stretch I put up on the screen, this is kind of going to make or break our seeding, because there's only about 5 games after this stretch on screen, and they're against some easier opponents, Indiana a few times, Washington, and that. But this stretch is basically the run home, the toughest part of this season on screen. And if we can escape that road trip with a couple of excellent wins, that's going to be great for us and our chances of the 4th seed. And they're looking at the standings now. The Knicks are 2 games back of the Cavs, a 4th seed. So the Knicks are in 5th. We have a 1-game lead still of the Brooklyn Nets, and a 3.5 game lead of the Heat in 7th. So, Brooklyn Nets, they might try to stick around. They might try to pull out some big wins, but I'm not worried about them catching us. But we certainly got to at least go 500 the rest of the way, or better, in order to claim that 4th seed, the 5th seed. But yeah, it's all ahead of us. Let's get it. Let's get healthy. Let's pull out these big wins on the road. But yeah, tonight stung because it was a great opportunity missed, and it's frustrating, but it happens. It's a full squad effort, and most of the squad didn't show up tonight. They were gassed. Yeah, Nick Yak, we talked about that too, but 100%, man, you hit a deuce. Great game tonight. 13 minutes, was 3 of 5, and 50% from deep, and a +8, 7 points. So I really like Deuce's game. He's stepped up, and no doubt he's happy to get some minutes again. He'll be fired up for that situation, and I'm happy for the man. He stepped up big. And I get the box score on the screen for everyone. Yeah, and we highlighted that too, fam. You hit again. Overturning the call was crazy. You need pretty clear evidence to overturn the call. And I question that, man. That's interesting. And yeah, what hurt CAA, salute in the building. Plus the 10-game winning streak would have been crazy. I think we all got ahead of ourselves. I'll admit, I was preparing the show. I had some 10 streak stuff to talk about, as you do when you prepare for stuff. But, I was humbled. We were all humbled with this situation. But, the Hornets got some talent. They're underachieved. They're a bad team at the minute. But it just stinks at home. Again, the Achilles for this team continues to be at home. And the Knicks are 18-16 at home. And the New York Knicks are like 20-12 on the road. So yeah, stark difference in home and away with that. Yeah, and a lot of second chance points. Great point was missed tonight. A lot of these shots hit deep iron and bounce back. We got a couple of them, but yeah, the Hornets took advantage. They capitalized on a lot of them. It was a pretty average rebounding night, really. Julius had 8 boards, Mitch had 8, Barrett was 6, and they were the leaders in that. Nobody got double-digit rebounds tonight, considering we couldn't hit shots. there was plenty more rebounds available. But I like Josh Hart again, 8 rebounds, 10 points. He was just a -1 in 33 minutes. So yeah, Josh Hart was super solid again. 2 assists, and yeah, 1 from deep and 3 of 5 from the field. But yeah, tonight they were geared up for it. We just weren't ready. Deuce stayed ready. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we get brought back to earth, but it's one loss. I'm not going to stew on this past this show. We chop it up. How could we get better? Basically, we give better effort tonight. I think we make some better decisions with the ball. Guys hit shots, and we get Brunson back. We just keep it rolling. Any team can beat any team in the league with this situation, but some guys stepped up with McBride and Barrett. Barrett gets a B plus. Mitch was pretty solid, 7 of 8 from the field, 3 offensive boards, 8 total, 1 steal, 1 block, 14 points. Yeah, I'll give Mitch a B plus as well. Even though he was -8, that doesn't tell the whole story. I'll give Mitch a B plus, Barrett a B plus. Randle probably gets his lowest grade of the year. But obviously, um, he tries to give you everything he can. I think he was very, very gassed tonight, and that's on Tibbs. That's on Tibbs for not playing, maybe Toppin more, maybe playing Sims, Hartenstein at the 4 more. But yeah, I'll give Julius a C plus for tonight. 5 of 17 and 2 of 9 from deep. Hit 4 out of 6 free throws though, but yeah, we were going to go as far as Randle took us tonight. It was tough, man. It was tough. I think tonight was a game we needed more production from Quickly and Grimes, certainly. More shot making. Quickly always going to give you effort, but shot making, 5 of 16. I think he gives you a little bit more offense tonight. Quickly hits, let's say, 8 of 16, 7 of 16, and we win, 14 points. He certainly wasn't as aggressive tonight. RJ Barrett was the guy who was the most aggressive, but their defense was solid. And our defense was not. When you let Terry Rozier start to get hot and start to feel good about himself with Oubre, with Gordon Hayward, and we let them hang around. I think that was the biggest issue tonight. We really could have closed this game out when it was like a 10, like 11-point lead. And we could have closed them out, man. Yep. D-Gon's live in Charlotte. The streets were buzzing here for one night. A salute. Appreciate you, man. Let us know what you saw out there. It's tough they couldn't get that win. It's tough they couldn't get that 10 streak, man. Because we certainly are surging up the standings in the power rankings, which is huge for our aspirations, this season. But it's not all about that. It's about the playoffs. We talked about it with Ron last night. Could Tibbs close this rotation down to 8? I think that's a possibility deep in the playoffs. But heading into the playoffs, Tibbs got to be ready to play more guys, especially when you're shorthanded. With Brunson out, you just can't afford to just gas these guys out after such a tough game in Boston. A 55-minute game from Emmanuel Quickly. People were talking about how could he do it, but he did it. But tonight we paid the price. That's the issue. That's in-game man management 101. Yeah. Salute Chris in OKC. Appreciate you. Hope all's well. Bright future ahead. Yeah, I heart performance tonight. Just 2 points in 15 minutes. Just 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Yeah, he was definitely outplayed. Their center, had a nice night. I think Richards, wasn't it? He was pretty solid. PJ Washington was definitely great. Oubre, Haywood, Rozier, um, Dennis DSJ didn't do too much, but yeah, I really feel like the Knicks threw this one away more than Charlotte won it. And I always pay respect to the opponent, always, but I really feel like we blew this one away more than they won it because we had a great lead. We had momentum. We had a home crowd. We had everything going for us, surging up the rankings, 9-game winning streak, undefeated since before the All-Star break with heart. And we just took them lightly, you know. We couldn't hit shots, and we were sapped right now, man. It's tough. It sucks, but you know, haven't had this losing feeling in a minute. But we'll definitely get back to winning ways, man. A lot of winnable games on screen right here. But with Quickly and Grimes grade, let's continue with the grades, and I'll give Quickly a B tonight, a C plus B. Wasn't efficient. You know, 35 minutes wasn't awful, but yeah, it just wasn't efficient. Had nowhere near the effectiveness the other night. Grimes, 29 minutes, 3 of 8. Inconsistent again, Grimes with the 3 ball. Back to the 2 of 7 from deep. So he's got to become more consistent, Grimes, to remain a starter in this league. Uh, it's just too much up and down with that 3-point shot. I know it's going to come. It's gonna continue to flow as he gets older and gets more experience. But man, that's tough. You know, as a starting wing in 30 minutes, 2 of 7, -5, 12 points. Certainly, I think the extra size from Oubre and Gordon Hayward, you know, played to their advantage. You know, definitely. I'll give Grimes a C plus as well, or a C for tonight. And Obi was, you know, pretty effective in his minutes, plus 13 in 13 minutes, but hit 1 of 4 from the field. No rebound, no assist, no steal, no block. Um, I would like him to start, you know, filling that stat sheet a bit more. To not even get a rebound in 13 minutes, that's bad. Got to play tougher, Obi. You know, he's got to win more minutes. I think that's what Tibbs looking for. You know, people like, why doesn't Obi get more minutes? That's the reason what Tibbs is looking at. That's what he's looking for. I think he's wanting him to, you know, fill out that stat sheet more, not just be a 3-ball specialist or a leak out in transition kind of guy. So I'll give Obi a C. Hartenstein gets a C as well. McBride definitely gets a B plus for his efficiency in his minutes. He should have played more minutes with +8, 7 points, and was efficient. Definitely with his defense, we needed his energy tonight. That's the kind of night in a regular season when your back's against the wall, you rely on your bench. You know, you need these guys to pick you out of a funk. You know, we were in a funk, and we definitely needed that. And Josh Hart also gets a B plus as well for his overall effort. You know, stuffing that stat sheet is Jay Hart with 8 boards, 2 assists, and 3 of 5 from the field as well. 10 points. He gets to the line. He gets to the cup. Love me some Josh Hart. So yeah, he definitely stepped up. But yeah, tonight, in terms of fast break points, we won, but points in the paint was lost. We won the turnovers as well. So yeah, tonight was a failure in the last quarter. Basically, it was bad execution. 16 points at home to Charlotte on your home floor in the last quarter. 16 points, man. That ain't gonna get it done. And definitely they came to play tonight. So shout out to the Hornets. You know, they definitely ended us. They ended our streak, and we get back on it now. We hit the road. Um, so we'll talk about that more, and we'll get out of here. But we'll talk about the how much this road trip means to our chances of getting into that fourth seed. So we've got Sacramento, who are in the third spot in the West. They're a great team this year, and actually they're in the second spot right now. Man, let that sink in. 12 games over, um, on a one-game winning streak, and they're 7-3 in their last 10. And the Kings are 20-13 at home, so they've got a great home record, and they're 18-13 on the road, and they're 7-3. So it's going to take some beating. I really hope Jalen Brunson is back, but hopefully we get a bit of rest. And if not, if he's not back, then quickly we need another great performance from quickly in that one. Grimes, Barrett to continue to step up, and we need Julius back. We need Julius. We need a big Julius game. He usually goes off against Sabonis, so could be perfect timing, man. Could be perfect. But a great test. That's another great test coming up. We want to finish in the fourth seed. You got to beat these great teams, and Sacramento's a great team this year, no doubt. Um, but yeah, with the full squad effort, that's what it's going to be on the road. For the New York Knicks to pull that one out, it's going to be a full squad. Lean on your bench. Play McBride more if Brunson ain't ready to go. So that's going to be a huge matchup. And then, like I said, the Clippers, man, we got to get them one back. Killed us on our home floor late. That was an overtime game, I think, where Batum hit that crazy buzzer beater to send it to OT after we should have won that one. So I really, really want to get that one more than anything on this road trip. But then the Lakers looks like Bron's going to be out, so that's going to be interesting. They've obviously upgraded their roster. They've got D'Lo, they've got Vanderbilt, they've got a different look to their team, and they're fighting for playoffs too. The Lakers are now 32-34 in the ninth spot, so even with LeBron out, there's still a chance to make the playoffs, play in on a 2-game winning streak, and they are still a winning team at home, barely, 17-15 at home. So they still have a winning record at home. So nothing's going to be easy on this road trip. Let's if we can go 500 or better, that'd be, I'll sign up for that. The Portland one's very winnable. That's probably the most winnable out of this whole thing. And then of course the Nuggets and the T-Wolves. The T-Wolves one is going to be another interesting game to try to close out that that road trip, which is going to be key. But we are, 11 games over 500 still, in a great position. Let's get healthy. Let's get back this momentum. Let's play tough New York City ball, and with heart. We got to rebound well. We got to shut teams down, and we got to be prepared for their schemes. The quick double. We got to get the ball moving. Tonight we were too trigger happy. Pulling up shots. I thought we could have tried to get to the cup more, and I thought we didn't make a better effort enough to post up Randle. I really feel like we should have got Randle down low, back to the basket, and just really grinded this game out. It was a slog. It wasn't pretty. It was gritty, and we should have, tried to get them in foul trouble, because playing out on the perimeter with those wings, it didn't help us tonight. They were shutting down penetration. Yeah. Tibbs says he was about to get fired. Man, yeah, I watched the Tibbs presser. He said kind of the similar things that we've said tonight about these games happen. The effort, the energy wasn't there, but I think he's kind of to blame too, because he should have played more guys. Tonight. I mean, a perfect game like tonight against his old team or old coach, Clifford, Evan Fournier would have been super juiced up to step up and give us some offense. In Brunson's absence. Fournier plays well on MSG usually. Derrick Rose too. We really could have used some offense tonight after a tough Boston game, but it cost us. So we have to live with it now. We have to get on to the next. We can't let this thing spiral at all. Sacramento is going to be one of the toughest games for the rest of this season. Yeah, we got the Reddish and the Hart Bowl coming up. D. Yeah, that's going to be good. This whole road trip's going to be interesting. Every single game got a story in itself. Like I said, Randle and Sabonis. That's going to be key. Randle's All-Star season, All NBA type season continues. Momentum continues to roll. The Clippers keep floundering out west, so that's going to be a big game for them. They're in 8th spot with the Lakers on their tail, and they're only half a game away from 6th to solidify a playoff spot. So the Clippers are going to be super hungry. They're going to be playing like their lives depend on it. Kawhi, PG, let's see who's healthy for that one. You can never be too sure. But the Lakers one again, they're back to the wall, fighting tooth and nail to make the playoffs with LeBron out. So that's going to be a big game too. With Julius returns to LA, another big game where Julius usually balls out at Staples Crypto, his former home, and matches up against D'Lo, his former teammate. So another big storyline there out in La La Land. And then the Dame Cam Bowl with Portland, and then Denver, man. The last game against Denver, Julius Randle had the best defensive performance I've ever seen. He was hustling back, remember that, diving on the floor. So I want to see us beat Denver. That's going to be one of the best wins of the year. If we can win in the Rockies, that's going to be huge. And Mini, and then Miami, and then Orlando, Houston, Miami, and Cleveland again, and then a couple more against Indy, Washington, and that's basically the season, man. That's a wrap. We're getting close, fam. We're getting close where every single game's going to matter, and those other bad teams sort of towards the end are going to tank. So I'm not worried about the Orlando so much, Houston, and those kind of situations. But the Heat, the Cavs for seeding, a lot of these games are going to be hot, man. Yep. I do feel optimistic. D will bounce back. Health's a big thing. We definitely miss Brunson. It's one thing to compete every night, but to beat good teams without your second best guy is a huge task alone. It puts pressure on everybody else to step up, and other people are going to have to step up. They stepped up majorly in Boston, but they didn't step up tonight on their home floor. So something's just a little bit amiss. We take that opportunity on the road to step up, but at MSG, we just seem to take things easy. We just seem to take things for granted. Yeah, and the other team always gets up. At MSG. It's coming. Back to backs, okay, as well. Yeah, the Clippers, Lakers could be back to backs. Looks like as well. So that's going to be tough too. Tom Thibodeau, use some of these guys off the bench, please, please. Yeah, Deuce McBride was impressive, stayed ready. He's a guy I'm looking for. He's that like 10th, 11th guy. Him and Jericho have always deserved minutes. They just happened to have their minutes taken away because Josh Hart came in. But, 10, 15 minutes, Deuce McBride should have always been playing without Hart here. It was just the fact that, Hart came in and he can do a little bit of everything. The defense, the scoring, pushing the ball as well. But I like Deuce's on-ball D. His defensive nature, instincts, and tonight he was +8 in his 13 minutes. So that was a good stretch of the game where Deuce was on the floor. We're going to need that. And I said to Ron last night, I said if Tibbs does need to play any more dudes in a playoff series, I think it's going to be Deuce McBride. That's a guy that he trusts in a minute, even if it's a tiny situational moment in a deep playoff game. I think McBride is a guy that Tom Thibodeau will feel like uh, he's okay to trust, late. Now, Obi Toppin might be different. We'll see. He might start out playing Obi 10 to 15, 13 minutes like tonight in a playoff game, but I think he's going to have a quick leash. He's going to pull him in a playoff game if he's not happy with his defense. I think um, he's so easy to read. Is Tibbs? You can read him like a book. He basically keeps telling you what he wants, and he says, if you're not scoring, what are you doing to impact winning? On the defensive side. So that tells you that's what he's looking for. Just get gritty, get down and dirty, rebound, hustle, um, make the right play, all of that stuff. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be popping. Streets are going to be buzzing with this playoff run. Let's get no worse than the fifth seed. Hopefully fourth home court MSG rocking right now. We took a setback tonight, but we get back to it on this road trip. Let's get back to winning ball. Jalen Brunson day to day still. They confirmed, so it seems to be day to day. I assume they've had an MRI and the results came back negative, so it's ankle soreness and it's day to day, it's don't risk it basically in plain English, we don't need to risk Brunson at this point. We're in a good position. We have a good record. We know we're going to be in the playoffs, fighting tooth and nail. We need that ankle right. We need it fresh. You know, he's he's our captain. We go as far as Brunson takes this squad, and certainly him feeling good to start the playoffs is going to have us in an amazing position, fam, out here on the streets of buzzing in this crazy season that's been, and yeah, we're going to continue to rock out. We'll be live obviously after the on Thursday night after the Sacramento game. It's late on the West Coast, so we'll be up probably about this time actually rocking out again. And we got another guest coming up Friday night, off night, but we'll be on live Friday night too with a guest talking about it, this streak that ended, the playoffs coming up, Knicks Nation, Knicks Streets, diehards from the 60s, 70s, 80s, however long you've been a fan. We're getting ready for this postseason run. I asked Ron too, what would you like to do with the roster heading into the playoffs? Would you make a cut and an addition? Would you cut out, the 10-day Jeffries and add a veteran? Maybe not a guy who's expected to play, but a guy like an enforcer, kind of a guy from the locker room, a perspective, whether it's a dude like Boogie Cousins, Mello, somebody with playoff experience for the locker room, or is it just worthless to even look at that situation and just bring Jeffries in because he's young and he's not going to get minutes anyway. But I'm kind of looking at what Tibbs and the front office are thinking in a playoff run. You need experience in the playoffs. It could happen. A guy or two could go down, and you need extra depth. Our bench is solid, but it's not exactly foolproof either. It's not bulletproof. Like tonight shows us, we needed a little bit of scoring, something different. Just a guy that's going to break the game open, make that hustle play, rebound, box out, just smart. I think we need smart play, especially in the playoffs. So, you know, all eyes are going to be on Tom Thibodeau. All eyes are going to be on Julius and Barrett, Brunson, Grimes, right? You can't hide in the playoffs. You cannot hide. When the lights shine the brightest is when you can make a name for yourself, or it goes the other way. So best believe that Cleveland series, if that happens, it's going to be popping. I'm going to look at the standings now, see if I can predict if it could be anything else. Look, Cleveland are 3 games back of Philly. So they're in 4th, 3 games back. I don't see the Cavs moving into 3rd. I just don't. I think Philly's going to hold on. So it's either the Cavs or the Knicks to take that 4th spot, 4th and 5th spot. Worst case scenario, I could see the Knicks slipping to 6th, and then they face Philly, which I'm good with that. I'm okay with that series as well. But then again, Philly's only 1.5 back of the Boston Celtics. So, good chance that Philly maybe takes 2nd, Boston fall down to 5th, to 3rd. And if the Knicks are in 6th, then you've got a Boston Knicks matchup. Worst case scenario, I think, if the Knicks finish 6th. I don't see the Knicks falling into 7th. That'd be a collapse, but it's still possible. The Knicks are 3.5 games up on the Heat of 7th. There's still plenty of games remaining. We're going to have to at least go 500, pull out a lot of tough wins, but I can see us doing it and getting that 5th and 4th spot, most likely. But yeah, it could be the Heat that climb. The Knicks could stay. I don't think the Knicks can get any higher than 4th, though. Tonight would have done a lot for those chances, but we're back to 5 games back of Philly, 5 games back of 3rd. So yeah, give us your thoughts on that situation. Do you guys feel like there's a specific playoff matchup that's most likely to happen, or that you want to see happen? But to me, yeah, it does look like it's the Cavs matchup, man. That's going to be it. D says Melo spelling Randle for a few minutes is worth a quick look before the playoffs. Talk about for maybe morale, locker room, for the city. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to bring Melo in. I would say, in not necessarily to take no one's minutes, but for that final roster spot, And that's no shade on Jeffries, but it's not like he's going to get any development in that situation. It's not like he's going to play or get any development. If your aspirations is to make a deep playoff run, it's probably worthwhile signing a veteran, for the locker room. But a veteran that's not going to expect to play, that's the key thing. You can't sign a veteran expecting for them to expect to play. It's got to be a veteran that's for the locker room and can come in and produce if needed, but most likely is okay staying on the bench, as well, not playing any minutes. There's Stanley Johnson, I think, another wing. I feel like a wing with extra size could definitely help us with dudes going off on us. I think again, the Knicks, if I'm trying to pick an Achilles heel, it's Hart, Quentin Grimes. They're undersized. RJ Barrett, they're undersized against bigger wings. So that might be an impact in the playoffs. Of course, Cleveland don't have really any wing that I'm stressing about. Karis LeVert's not in great form at the moment, but the later you get in the playoffs, it's certainly going to factor in. I think basically Tatum and Brown, Middleton, Giannis, those kind of guys. Obviously, we've proven we can beat Boston, so that's an interesting element as well. Do you want a Boston matchup? Do you feel really good now that we've beaten Boston 3 out of 4? That could be a situation where Knicks fans are like, man, let's just get Boston. Let's finish 6th, and let all the pressure is going to be on them, right? They suffer a loss or two in the first 2 games at home, give up home court. The pressure is going to be on Boston. If it's a Knicks Cavs series, I feel like there's no pressure on anybody. I think it's equal. I think it's fairly equal. Usually the 4th, 5th matchup is pretty equal in terms of pressure. I think Philly, there'll be pressure on Philly, no doubt, Today we heard more talk about, could James Harden be off to Houston? And then would Joel Embiid look at his future and talk about what's next for him? That's huge. Boy, is this postseason going to be huge for the Philadelphia 76ers, because, right, that franchise could seriously go in another direction. And they are in a playoff, contending, in a championship contending window. So they should be under pressure. We got the Bucks and the Celtics right ahead of them. Right, this is their era. This is their time. And if they don't produce soon, that thing's it's gonna get blown up, I feel, soon. So yeah, a lot of pressure on Philly, but the Knicks are playing with house money. So let's get it. We need that chip on our shoulder again. Let's pretend like, we've been losing a lot, get back to winning, get on a streak, and take some grittiness on the road, man. Take our lunch pail and get these dubs on the road, because that'll solidify us in fifth or fourth. This stretch on screen, that's make or break. Best believe it. So yeah, 39 wins. Everybody who took the over for Vegas cashed in the other night. Salute to you. Salute to all the diehards, the loyalists, Knicks Nation, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, however long. You've been a diehard, because yeah, we're coming into an era of hopefully sustained success right now. It starts this year. It starts in the playoffs. Let's see what this thing's made of right now. 11 games over. We haven't been in this situation in almost a decade, over a decade right now. Fantastic record. We should finish with 45, 46, 7, 8, 49, 50 wins. There's a real possibility. It just depends on how hot we can get now in this streak. Maybe we can catch a break or two. I would welcome that. Let's say a De'Aaron Fox can't go. We just need a couple breaks. Kawhi Leonard can't go. And then the door is going to open up for the Knicks to pick up or rattle off a couple of great big wins and get this momentum back. And look at the 45 to 50 win records, standings. And we're fifth in the power rankings in NBA, and first in power rankings for CBS. So we've got to get back and continue this identity, which is defense first. I think tonight was just an aberration. We were gassed. We didn't rely on the bench enough. We didn't play good enough defense, and we didn't hit shots. But best believe, man, we'll be back. We'll be back at it. And salute to all the mods, replay gang. Salute to the chat, where it's at. Shout out to you, the diehards, Knicks Streaks. Let's get it on the road after this, man. This humbled the team, which can be a good thing. Certainly not hitting that 10-game winning streak is bad, but there's still plenty of games left, man. And we're close. I can smell it. Shout out D Gons. Appreciate you out here. Everyone out here, replay gang, really appreciate you. I love the comments for those catching up on replay gang, and the support from EJ and myself. It means a lot. It's been a fun season, and the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come. I feel like, yeah, we've got a chip on our shoulder heading into the playoffs, but we're getting expectations now. If you notice, a lot of the media are saying that the Knicks are for real. So you know what that means. That means it's saddle up, baby. It's about to get crazy. And we got that expectation on us now to produce. We are a good team. We are a great team. I called us a great team. Now, we've got to play like a great team in the playoffs now. And a guy's got to step up. Tom Thibodeau, push the right buttons. Home record. Got to get better playing in MSG. From top to bottom. From the crowd, to the coaching staff, to the players, to the concession stands, to the chat, to the diehards, celebrity row. We've got to get this home record good for the playoffs. If we do finish with home court advantage, we better take advantage of it. Make people know that they're in for a battle. With that said, man, we out. Peace, Pneumatics. Peace, chat. Let's get it on the next one. Salute. Like, subscribe, smash that like button.